My name is Tyler Fornes, and I am one of the co-hosts of the Good, the Bad, and the Hungy AEW podcast here on the Voice of Wrestling Podcasting Network. We take a broad scope approach to the world of All Elite Wrestling and the entire universe of Tony Khan. We talk about the big matches, the big stars, the promos, the storylines, and we also look at it from a big picture perspective. How are things going to change over the course of the next 10 years with AEW still in the picture? How are companies like WWE going to adapt and adjust to AEW? Are they going to be a similar way like they did with WCW in the late 1990s? Will there be a counterpunch? We talk about all of that and more on The Good, the Bad, and the Hungy every week on the Voice of Wrestling Network.
Hi, I'm Case Lowe, co-host of the Open the Voice Gate podcast. The one question I'm constantly asked when it comes to Dragon Gate is how do I get into the promotion? Well, stop asking and start listening to the Open the Voice Gate podcast, released every Wednesday on the Voices of Wrestling Podcasting Network. For exclusive news and show reviews, look no further than the leader in Dragon Gate coverage, Open the Voice Gate.
This podcast is a member of the Voices of Wrestling Podcasting Network. Visit voicesofwrestling.com to hear the rest of our great podcasts, as well as show reviews, columns, opinions, and updates across the world of wrestling.
Hey there, Thunder Buddies and Travelers down Thunder Road. It's us, Days of Thunder, the WCW Thunder rewatch podcast that you didn't ask for, but we did anyway, coming to part of the Voices of Wrestling Podcast Network and powered by largemanapears.com. It's your host, what'll I go for this week? Your classic Italian jersey on Thunder Road, Dave Ryan. I'm joined as ever by my faithful co-host, he's Stagger Lee Malone. Lee, you've inspired me this time with your quality Frosinone kit I'm seeing over Zoom.
Yeah, if that's the first time you've been stuck for a quick-witted introduction. And
yeah, last time when we came back, I muddled through it, as people heard, because I kept the blooper in.
Okay.
So I muddled through the actual introduction part, and this time I forgot that I do that bit. I think within another 100 episodes or so, I'll have the rust shaken off fully.
By the time we get to the invasion, you'll be back fully doing the introductions flawlessly.
Yeah. I'm gonna nail the intro on the final episode of this podcast. Just you watch.
I'm sporting a quite lovely Frosinone kit, I must say.
Yes, yeah. I haven't indulged in a football jersey in quite some time myself. I must say I am jealous.
Was it the last time we were together in Heathrow Airport when you got that beautiful white Manchester United jersey?
Oh, that's one of the last ones I bought. I feel like I've got one since, but I can't think. You see, I'm more of as people who know me IRL. I'm the anthem or track jacket guy.
Mm-hmm.
Football wise, rather than the jersey guy. I don't wear I wear a lot of jerseys around the house. Like, I don't wear them out and about really that much.
You're more of a band t-shirt guy.
I'm a band t-shirt guy, a video game t-shirt guy. I think it comes with the territory of what I do for a living, is that like wearing your pop culture loves on your sleeve really helps in my line of work, and kind of that conscious decision to wear those more when I'm in work has now just become my uniform in life. Because I used to be, I probably still, when I met you, I was a shirt guy.
You
used
wear
to wear shirts
yeah.
a lot.
Yeah,
I used to wear shirts a lot. Now it's like the t-shirt and like combats is the way we're rocking it, and it's now beanie season for me as well.
I actually got a couple of quality beanies. I ordered a couple from Temu. They arrived last week.
Here he is now. No expense spared, eh?
Listen.
It's the Lionel Hutz thing. No expense spared. No expense spared.
Listen, if I can get a bargain, I'm going to take a bargain.
And you drive a hard bargain.
Listen, they are a quality beanie. That's all I'll say.
Yeah. I've never gone for the what's the other one? The Wish. I've never ordered
Oh
from
no,
Wish.
no.
Never ordered from Wish and never ordered from Temu. Emma has and like has not really complained about some of the props at our wedding, I believe, were
Oh yeah, 100%. They
yeah,
were definitely were. Yeah.
yeah, a couple of Temu bits here and there. But do you know the joke we had running up to the the wedding is that Emma did this and this and this, and I was happy to be there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I
Like
took
like oh,
enormous
like
pride.
listen, like all rooms, you are there to just be there
Yeah,
to play a
yeah.
role.
I took enormous pride in organizing the arcade machines, but I will not purport to take credit for any of the cool stuff at the wedding. That was all the good wife. I suppose before we get into it, Lee, I want to talk a little bit about plans moving forward, seeing as we are now back, and I kind of teased on the Twitter machine, which you are now fully divested from in terms
Yep,
of not
I'm
only is
done.
your account there not anymore,
Mm-hmm.
but you've deleted the app
Oh yeah,
during
gone.
our sabbatical. So people wondered why, while I was away, nobody took their opportunity to spew boiling hot takes and get us blocked by the rest of the wrestling community. It's because Lee doesn't even have the app anymore.
No.
But I kind of tweeted out that we kind of just lay the groundwork for returning to Patreon and things like that. So people who are on the Patreon will already know the first of these, but I suppose this is the first time on the free feed we're saying this that we're returning with a couple of blinders. By the time you're all listening to this, our first Drafts and Drafts movie edition should have dropped at largemanapears.com. And that is going to be with special guest co-host Jack Lazell. Looking forward to that one very much, as we haven't recorded it yet, as of recording this episode.
I do have to inquire, as Drafts and Drafts is my show,
Yeah.
but movies are your specialty.
Yes, it's a
Who's
hostile takeover. Well,
who's
you see
going to
now
be
you
who's going to be driving this episode?
well, you see now you got all Billy Big Bollocks about it because I offered you the out that it wasn't your speciality, so I was willing to take on Jack 1v1. But somebody didn't want to be left out and said, you know what, let's compete, let's make it this match isn't three-way dance,
Yes.
Walter style. And I'm like, okay, if you want to do it, buddy, you step in. I won't reveal the topic to people who aren't on the other side of the paywall just yet. But it's a good one. It's a good one. And the other one that we're going to do this month is we're going to return on our quest for that Dragon Star, my friend.
Yeah.
The Masters of the Dragon Star will return. I think those are two nice kind of bubbly, light, fun shows to get us back in the swing of things.
Mm-hmm.
For Patreon subscribers listening to this, our plan is to keep billing paused for the remainder of October, as we had it paused the entire time I was gone, and partly as a thank you to people who kind of stuck it out and didn't cancel their subs while we were gone, and partly as a mea culpa to the couple of people that got caught between Patreon has this stupid thing that you have to manually.
So irritating.
And it doesn't work on our time zone. You have to manually every month repause the billing, but it doesn't do it like at midnight on the second of the month or something like that. So it will randomly unpause, and then if somebody had the bad fortune to have subscribed to us in the window between when it unpaused and when Lee realized it was unpaused and repaused it, there's a couple of people that got billed for a month there, both times, where we're just like, okay, month of free content for you, my friends. And I think that's fair. And then people signing up anew, who will get charged, they will get to enjoy that because it's not like that's going to be temporary content. That will always be there. It's just adding to the value of your sub when you join back up. So that's what's happened on largemanapears.com. We are hopeful that there will be minimal service interruptions going forward now that we are back. But it is, as I said on the last show, good to be back. Good to be back. Been beating around the bush, not talking about World Championship Wrestling for a while. See, I'm at a loss because with everything going on, my watching of actual current wrestling is at such a low that I don't have any piping hot takes. I don't even have takes that will be piping hot while we record this and then be lukewarm by the time the show is posted, which is our tradition here.
Yeah.
To rant about something that'll be 2 weeks out of date by the time the show
yeah,
goes up.
I'm trying to think what could have possibly happened in the 2 weeks between us recording and when this is released.
Do we want to make, like, for our football fan listeners, do we want to make like a series of broadly confident statements about Ruben Amorim still having a job?
Listen, I think there's a possibility Arne Slot might be out of a job before Ruben Amorim, the way things are going.
Yeah. I have this new thing. I have the new EAFC. I still call it FIFA.
That's still FIFA game. Yeah. It's good.
And now for the first time in your career mode, which is as noted before in the show, is the only mode I ever play. Managers can be sacked from AI teams.
Oh.
And there's a manager market where you can see how secure other managers' jobs are and stuff like that. It's really funny because, like, managers at the top of the league are getting sacked left, right, and center. And like managers in the mid-table are safe as houses. Like, I think at the end of last season, Arteta, Pep, and Slot all got sacked. I think there's some fine tuning needs to be done with like what the AI's expectations are. That it seems to be like if those three teams don't win the league, their manager gets sacked.
I will say I did start a career on EAFC 26, and of course I selected Fulham.
Of course you did.
For no other reason that they have probably the best selection of kits in the Premier League. So I selected Fulham. So I am at this point working for Tony Khan. The unfortunate thing for me is that I've played maybe 3 games in the season. So I've no idea how it all plays out. Like, I haven't seen like the manager market, and I believe there's unexpected events where players just randomly get homesick and stuff.
Yeah, players randomly get homesick is the kind I've had, and that's easy enough to deal with. But there are ones I've seen screenshots of on Reddit. I'm a Reddit lurker, and I have seen a player will randomly retire because of injuries.
Oh no!
But you can tweak the frequency and severity to which those events happen as you're setting up career mode, at least. Anyway, people, of all the things, all the banter topics we have up top, this is one of the ones that absolutely no one was tuning in for. So let's not do like last time and have an hour of vamping before we get to it, and let's move into their packed pay-per-view edition of the show. This is SuperBrawl 2000 from the Cow Palace, officially designated as Daly City, California, the 20th of February 2000. 70,000 buys.
Wow.
Is that 10,000 above TNA's record? Was there 60,000 for Joe Angle?
60,000 was Joe Angle, yeah.
Yeah. So it's pretty fucking desperate, guys.
Sorry,
Garrett. That wasn't meant as a veiled shot at TNA. But like, you think about where this company was and where it is.
Yeah, that's pretty fucking bad, I gotta say. Listen, I don't think anybody that bought it will have returned. Like, as we're going through these next 12 months of pay-per-views, I think it's gonna get pretty fucking dire. Like, we know it gets pretty fucking dire.
I don't think this was, in terms of direness, like dire business-wise, I don't think this is the worst WCW pay-per-view I've ever seen. But Jesus, it was all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fucking mess of a show.
Yeah.
And I really think, like, I'll talk later about I text you about it, what I thought maybe my favorite match in the show is, and it says more about the match, or it says more about the show than it does about the match. It's a very bleak time, and I will go through our star rating as we're here, and let's just say, Big Dave did not enjoy this program.
I can't imagine he did.
Yeah.
I mean, look, let's start out positive. I thought the opening package of the pay-per-view was quite good.
Yeah, and I think chiefly so it was it kind of focused on the top 3 matches.
The 3 main events, yeah.
And that is usually what these do, and that is kind of these opening packages should only focus on like what is the thing that got you in the door. I think they do a particularly of the three. If I were to single out one that they make look especially good, it's the Funk versus Flair package.
Mm-hmm.
I think it made Funk versus Flair feel big time,
It did.
and it also made Package and Hogan feel like it was, I don't know, like in real time watching the build up for that, it felt very sparse and thrown together.
Well, I
You
mean,
know,
Hogan only showed up on the last Nitro, last Thunder, one of them.
I think it was like, I think he's been on one Thunder and two Nitros, I
Yeah.
think. Yeah, no, you're dead right. And it's a lot of like, because a lot of this package run has been him feuding with people who aren't there.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was also like
With
Sting as well.
which look is why he's being outside of Sid. He's been the MVP of Thunder.
Yeah, truly, because they're not having him wrestle. Um, but yeah, no, I think it did a really good job, and I think that like, look, we all wish we were watching a different era of Funk versus Flair,
Mm-hmm.
you know. But I think, in spite of the fact I should have known better, I think that moment got me a little bit giddy. Is like, oh look, we are getting a little bit of in the middle of all this kind of where this era of WCW is doing its best to do a Vince McMahon level of shunning history and respect for the business and things like that. To have a little glimmer in the middle of this of something that's a real throwback to
Mm-hmm.
where this company used to be, I think is a nice, you
And,
know,
and I mean, they even did that with the Hogan Luger story, where Keenan brought up that on the second ever Nitro, Luger had Hogan in the rack and he was tapping, and they showed clips of '97 where Luger beat Hogan.
yeah, in a huge moment, like
Mm-hmm.
one of the bigger Nitro moments, like, second to Goldberg beating
And I mean,
him.
for a company that normally books 3 weeks in advance or 3 weeks preview, like it was a nice change of pace to see them tapping into their fucking years and years of video library and doing something useful with it.
Genuinely like the biggest unused asset they had at this time,
Mm-hmm.
because as well documented on this show, they've essentially trashed the current day credibility of almost everyone in that company. I think the only one that maybe doesn't feel tarnished is Sting, because I think we remarked on, like, people still love Goldberg and Goldberg's over as hell, but is he as special as he felt in the Georgia Dome
Mm-hmm.
that night? No.
Of course
But
not.
Sting, and I think part of it is that he was away for so long shooting movies that like he managed to not have as much of the stink of the
Yeah.
last 18 months on him as some other people. Um yeah, I think, but because they've shot everybody's credibility current day, in 2000,
Mm-hmm.
all they have left to lean on is history. And these video packages aside and these builds aside, they have really been reticent to do
Yeah.
that. And short of just, throwing your hands up and going, well, it's WCW, I struggle to understand why, you know?
Yeah, I mean, maybe it was, instead of like post NWO, maybe they could have leaned into being, yeah, we were the NWA company, we were the wrestling company. Maybe that's a direction they could have gone. But obviously, we know that that's not what they did, and
Yeah.
yeah. So, like, as much as we praise the opening package, the first segment on the show of me and Gene outside Kevin Nash's office,
Yeah.
and Jeff Jarrett coming out and just blowing up the whole story of the main event, going, I'm acting commissioner again, fuck Nash, and the Harrises are with me all night.
Yeah. It's also one of the other canaries in the coal mine is this is our first 3-hour broadcast of Mark Madden on commentary.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can brace yourself. And he has a couple of, I think there's one moment I noticed where he did in fact make me laugh with a gag, but he has a couple of real collar tug moments that, like, of things that are definitely wouldn't fly saying it on commentary now, but a couple that I think I'm surprised even flew on commentary back then. But anyway,
And
yeah,
I will just have to add, Tony and Tanay look professional.
yeah,
Madden in his fucking off the rack suit that's about 4 sizes too big for him
yeah.
just looks messy and unprofessional.
And look, from here, he's only going to get less professional because he will be wearing Hawaiian shirts for most of the rest of the run of this company. Now, you say the two lads are professionally turned out, and that is true, but it's definitely a firmly checked out Shivani when you listen to him.
100%.
I don't want anybody to labor under the misapprehension that Tony got a second wind at this point. No, his second wind wouldn't come until he signed with AEW 19 years after this.
Yeah, unfortunately.
But yeah, as you say, Jeff and the Harris brothers come out of Nash's office. He said he rung Nash's bell. He is acting commissioner, and the Harris brothers are no longer banned. So we are again loath to be in another power struggle for commissionership of this company.
Don't forget, Terry Funk was commissioner a month ago.
Was he commissioner or was he president?
No, he was commissioner, and then Nash beat him 2 nights later.
And what's happened to the presidency role at the moment? Is that a thing of the past?
No, they're not there. The championship committee is somewhere in the background still.
Okay.
Nick Lambros exists.
Yeah. Anyway, we get a rundown of the card, and you have to give credit to ISIS, where they did a long recap of the cruiserweight title, and even though they don't give a shit about this division, and I don't want you to think that from this moment all of a sudden they have a renewed level of giving a shit in this division. They don't. It goes right back to being worth fuck all in this company. In this moment, they made you think that this tournament was a big deal. And, fair enough. I think maybe the last people that are committed to doing their jobs in this company, are the production people.
Yeah. And you know what? It's something that I think WWE took from bringing in the WCW production team, when they bought the company, was they made much better use of B-roll than the WWF did at the time. Yeah. So WCW would always use their current footage. Like you said, they haven't really tapped into the older footage, but their week-to-week footage, they were much better at using in video packages than the WWF would have been at the time. I do have to hand it to WCW again here. The whole presentation of the artist is fucking brilliant.
I think we said this as soon as he showed up, is like, I don't really. The only disagreement I have with the gimmick is that I think there's too many musician gimmicks going on in this company at the moment. Because Van Hammer is essentially back to being heavy metal Van Hammer. We have the Cat doing his thing. We have Maestro doing his thing, and we have
the Demon,
the Fartist here. Oh yeah, and the Demon. Jesus, the fucking Demon. More about him later. I think my main quarrel with this gimmick is that you're wasting it on this guy. I know there's something to be said for putting the colorful gimmick on the boring wrestler so that you kind of hide the negatives, but you really need someone with charisma, because there are many things said about Prince, right? But one of the chief things you identify is there is a charismatic performer.
Oh yeah,
eccentric as fuck, but charismatic. And there is no part of I think Paisley does a good job of selling the gimmick. I think, like you said, I think the entrance is pretty spectacular. I think the rip-off Purple Rain theme is perfect, but he doesn't sell a bit of it.
I think he does the aloofness.
I think he comes off more Derek Zoolander than Prince, to be honest.
See, I'll cut him some slack. I think he does that kind of aloof artist style, I'm not bothered with all this kind of thing.
Yeah. Is it because he's not bothered?
No, because he just can't emote. I think that's more what it is.
He's dead inside.
I 100% understand what you were saying, though. He doesn't have the charisma to put it off. But in a way, I think that adds to it also for me.
You're saying he has a reverse charisma because of it?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't agree, but yeah, fair enough. Okay,
now, look, it's still IKEA in the ring.
Yeah. We have a great moment for at the start of this match, by the way, which is the Cruiserweight title tournament final. Lash LaRue versus Prince IKEA with Paisley. We have a great moment for the progress of women in professional wrestling in 2000 as two things happen side by side, which is Madden complaining that Paisley isn't showing enough cleavage, and then Lash, his maybe first spot in this match or second is to smack Paisley's ass.
I mean,
Cool.
yeah, it's year 2000. Jerry Lawler impressions were all the rage.
I forgot, and I'm just reading ahead here in my notes. I forgot I had planned to ask you this question, right? And it's funny off the back of what you just said. Is the artist, Prince Ikea, as a performer, is he, Lee, the least interesting wrestler to ever have a multi-year run on national television? Because like I think Dale Torborg is a worse wrestler, but also his run is much shorter, and
Yeah.
he's kind of so bad in the ring, it's kind of funny. Whereas like
I, I'm trying to think of like,
the artist is bad, but not so bad that it's kind of comedic. He's so bad I just don't want to watch him anymore.
I mean, Kip Sabian's been on national TV for 6 years.
I'd say he's a far better wrestler than Ikea, though.
He
I don't think
is.
he's compelling. I'll give you that. I don't think he's compelling in any way. I think I remember the first time I saw him and he used to wear the jacket with the little shoulder thing, and I thought someone
Mhm.
shrunk Chris Brooks in the wash. Um,
Yeah, I mean, look, yeah, it's anybody that's worse than Whoopi, it'd be a pretty short list. So put it that way.
yeah. It's hard. Write in to us on the Discord or on the tweet machine and tell us if you can think of somebody more deserving of that title. Speaking of titles, Cruiserweight title is on the line here. Um, I will say I think the crowd in the Cow Palace agree with me because they are giving this match nothing. They
Well, I mean, they gave the match something because there was some audible, questionable chants.
yes. Yeah, they were just kind of like they went into business for themselves here. Um, and they were just trying to entertain themselves because Lord knows this match wasn't entertaining them whatsoever. Um, the crowd was as silent as the grave most of the time that Prince was on the
Mhm.
attack. And you always know, I said this, like, not that Lash is, 89 Steamboat or anything like that, but that's they are having a stinker, or that at least one of the people in this match is absolutely terrible when the babyface making his fiery comeback is getting nothing.
Yeah. I mean, look, we're always pretty kind to Lash. We like Lash.
We like Lash. He's green as grass, but we
Oh
like
yeah,
him.
but like he's not ready to be in a title match on pay per view.
I think there's like the more we watch him, the more we realize like this was the desperation for anybody to catch
Mm-hmm.
fire. And this is kind of what we end up with. We'll see it a lot with the new blood, where there's a lot of people coming on TV, and some of them you could say are ready.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them are like proper solid professionals. Like I think like someone like a Chuck Palumbo was safe as houses from the day he
Mm-hmm.
showed up. I think Sean O'Hare was somebody that really
Yeah.
picked up on things quick and was just like a freak looking human being. But I think a lot of people that get pushed on TV over the coming months are just, let's clear out the power plant, get them all on TV, and maybe somebody will catch like Goldberg did.
Something might click for somebody. Yeah.
Granted, the thing they didn't factor in was that they also had Goldberg beat everybody. Do you know what I mean? With a set of moves that look like these guys had been in car wrecks. I think they missed that key part of the equation. And Goldberg, while not a great promo, had just like second to none physical charisma that a lot
Mm-hmm.
of these guys wet behind the ears coming straight out of their power plant just weren't gonna have. But look, more on that over the coming months. I didn't really write a lot of the spots in here because again,
There wasn't
it's just
many.
very poor.
There just
I
wasn't many.
and I think that kind of characterizes the whole show. I think this was like 3 hours of punch kick. There was some matches where I tried to commit to writing down spots, and I'm just like, I just wasn't. Look, it's also a reflection of just how poor the momentum of this company is right now. That like, just what's the point? Because like I used to really enjoy when we had like a lucha match, when we had a cruiserweight match,
Mhm.
or when we had someone like a Canyon doing some really creative shit, or when we were bought into a storyline, going back and forth and doing play by plays on the moves. But now I'm sitting there going, these are just guys where the only thing they're thinking of in terms of their matches, like, how do we fill 6 minutes? You know,
Yeah,
they're not thinking of what would be really cool to do in 6 minutes. They were just thinking, like, let's just put a screensaver on until the ref tells us to go home.
like you look at the difference in the match cards, like you said there, Canyon, Raven, Saturn, Psychosis, Ray, um, Benoit, Eddie, like all these guys aren't there. Like these guys are missed. DDP isn't on the show.
And the thing is, right, you might go, okay, we could forgive, there's been a talent drain. You could forgive them for taking a while, but they're also about to take in some talent that really could have done something on some of these cards. Like,
Mm-hmm.
these guys are about to get Mike Awesome. Like, these guys are about to get Lance Storm.
Mm-hmm.
Do you
Now,
know what I
look,
mean?
I'm gonna hold back on anything regarding Lance Arm because,
We're going to love it.
yeah,
I fully know this is going to get us through the year is the Lance Storm run.
mm-hmm.
Do you know
I
what I mean?
genuinely
Because
hope
like
he wrestles on every show for.
the thing is, I loved it at the time because I was
Mm-hmm.
starting to get into heels that everybody hated at this age, right? Not like ironic cool heels like the NWO, because you know it was cool to like those heels. I was starting to like the contemptible, they deliberately have nothing redeeming about them heels. This was before I really understood the graft of pro wrestling like I do now. So I think going back and going, okay, not only do I enjoy this character work, but also I'm getting to watch Lance Storm wrestle all the
Yeah,
time. And Lance Storm is class. I think, yeah, I think we're going to absolutely love it. But obviously, they don't put him in a position to save the company. They put him in a surprisingly
be
important
high, but
position.
yeah, like he carries the mid
Sure.
card like fucking. But yeah, no, like you say, like we have Lance, we have Chris Candido coming in, we have Mike Awesome. There is guys coming in.
Page will be coming back
Yeah,
soon.
Scott
You
Steiner
know,
comes back with his working boots on.
yeah.
Um, so there is guys coming in. It's just when you look up and down this card, you're like, fucking Brian Knobs, the shell of Bam Bam Bigelow, Tank Abbott, Big Hal,
Yeah.
fucking Ahmed Johnson.
Yeah, I was gonna say Booker T stuck wrestling one of the worst wrestlers on the roster.
Like it's just yeah, like look, that's all I had was on this show. But yeah, it is disconcerting when you look at the names that are gone and are missing from shows like this, where like we'd look at an 11 card pay per view and go, oh god, but at least we had X and Y and Z that we
Yeah,
know are going to deliver. But now
yeah,
you're looking at a card going, I mean, maybe Sid can get a decent title match out with crowd reactions.
yeah.
Maybe.
Uh, in finishing up this match, Lee, do you want to talk about the weirdest defense of a sunset flip we've ever seen?
I mean, this was going to be my next point. They even messed up the finish.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, Lash sets artist up for a top rope Rana, and Paisley is out of position. She's supposed to be on the apron.
sorry.
Oh,
Are we skipping past the sunset flip?
oh, I don't have the sunset flip note. What's the
Oh,
sunset?
oh, did you not see Charles Robinson get a happy ending?
No. Or if I
So
did, look, I'll be honest. It's a week since I've watched the show.
okay, no, I cannot believe you don't. You must have been taking notes because there's no way would this not be burned in your brain that Lash attempts a sunset flip and Artist blocks it by grabbing Charles Robinson's penis.
No, I didn't notice
Like
that.
literally, not only does he do it, but commentary are like, did he just like
Okay,
like it wasn't an accident, it was a
maybe I memory
deliberate
hold it.
spot. So it was just like it's the classic this is 2000 wrestling where it's like, do you know what this gimmick needs to spice itself up? A little
Gay
bit of
panic.
gay panic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, then speak of the Rana now.
Yeah,
Go.
the Lash goes with top rope Rana, but Paisley, who had been on the apron for the preceding 2 minutes, is somehow out of position when it comes to actually going for the Rana. So they have to
Yeah.
kind of reset for it again. And yeah, Artis holds on, Lash falls to the ring, and he does. Now look, the leaping DDT does look good.
Yes.
I'll give him that.
Yeah. Yeah, proper spikes people with it.
Mhm.
It's good.
Better than the Northern Light suplex.
It's good. That match sucked. We see Norman getting taped up backstage. We then have an interview where Knobs is mad at Bam Bam for fucking his arm up. Again, this is the company of broken arms. Um, there is a secret mystery room backstage, Lee. And again, if I had the book, if somebody gave me the pencil at this point, I would have like Gene Okerlund doing like his best kind of Tom Cruise and Mission Impossible attempts to get into the room and see what's going on there. But what I ultimately wanted is for like somebody to open the door and it just be to like just a really small room with the Hummer in it. But like in a way where you're looking at it going, it's physically impossible for them to have gotten the Hummer in there. They would have had to take the Hummer apart and reassemble it in this office. It's so small.
One of those surreal shots where you open the door and it just opens out into another fucking dimension, just a Hummer.
Yeah. And it's just like, you know, those giant, like, gaudy accessories you can get for a car. It's just like a giant pair of sunglasses across the hood of the Hummer, just chilling in the office.
Oh God. Yeah.
Madden then rightfully chastises Tanay on commentary, because he said he spent half his day trying to get into the office, and he's just like, what are you doing?
Oh, into the private room, yeah.
Yeah. We then get a hardcore title match, Bam Bam defending against Brian Knobbs.
Finley is back with Knobs.
Yeah, we thought we had the random unannounced blow off match on Thursday. No such luck. Absolutely shite. Nothing happens. Nothing happens for a long time. Um, Bam Bam hips the greetings, goes to go for a bit of overkill, gets distracted by Finley and gets pinned.
He takes a bad tumble to the outsides.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
Yeah. That's about the most noteworthy thing in the match.
We then get Team Package trying to hype each other up. Flair, Package, and Liz. We then get we see that the main eventers' doors, particularly Sid and Hall, are being guarded by security. The whole idea is, I'm sure that Jeff would portray it as, for their own protection, but it's probably for his protection to keep them locked in, to not beat him up. We then get 3 count coming out. Tanay has, I think, the best line in commentary I've heard in several months here,
Yes.
where he said the 3 count fan club meets in a phone booth and there's still enough room for Madden to fit in it.
Brilliant.
Really good, because that is not only a swipe at 3 count, but at Madden as well.
Is it me, or is 3 count beginning to get genuine reactions?
Yeah, they are. Yeah. Well, they were always getting the heel reactions, like from the annoyed boyfriends who are having to watch the fucking fake in sync here. But yeah, now they're starting to get, like, people are starting to appreciate them and do oh yeah, no, we enjoy booing these guys, or getting the little bit of a cheer for like what little shitheads they are. This is the 3-on-1 handicap match, with 3 count versus Norman Smiley. And I think this is like, again, it epitomizes where WCW was at with a number of wrestlers. And I think The Wall is still the greatest example of this on the roster. And we'll talk about him in a little bit. But there's a bunch of people where they really match to match don't know what they're doing with somebody. Like, yes, there's always the element of comedy to 3 count, but it's like, are they comedy heels who are going to get a push? Are they comedy heels that are going to be here to eat losses? Are they like, they seem to be falling into some weird no man's land in between? Yeah, I like, because there are moments in this match where you're just like Norman Smiley is not exactly going for the world title next month, and he is spending lots of this match easily dispatching 3 young, kind of hungry talents in this company at the end of the day.
I mean,
like two of whom are actually properly good wrestlers, and one of whom at least looks like a star.
I mean, 2 matches ago, we just talked about the Cruiserweight title tournament. And their big idea for that was to do 3 count versus 3 count instead of filling the tournament with all three guys and having them be the basis of the new cruiserweight division.
Yeah.
There they are in a 3-on-1 against a comedy hardcore wrestler.
Is it safe to say they wouldn't really know in terms of talent what they had with the three of them properly
Right until the end of this year.
Yeah, until they go, oh yeah, when they wrestle the Young Dragons, people tend to really like it.
Yeah.
I think they know what they have comedically with them. Because again, for what it's worth, I do in some ways ironic and not enjoy the Tank Abbott as a huge 3 count fan run.
Listen, I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, I think they really didn't appreciate what, like, even somebody like Shannon Moore brought to like a Nitro or a Thunder. And yeah,
like that guy coming in onto the main roster here is like significantly more experienced than most of the guys they're calling up.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know? Yeah, him and Sugar Shane are backyarders, but like being a backyarder still went a long way at this time. Look at Blitzkrieg, your boy.
Yeah, look, come here. That guy should have went all the way. But yeah, like you said it right. It isn't until the Young Dragons show up that we actually see them kind of get serious with 3 count. And I mean, yeah, they still have the comedy aspects with like Liam Biao and all that involved. And but yeah, it's unfortunate that they're now stuck in this. Like I said, they seem to be beginning to get genuine reactions from the crowd. It's just nobody's quite sure whether it's haha, they're comedy heels, or it's, oh, these guys are good wrestlers.
And they're changing the tone just enough for people to notice all the time. And it's the same thing with the Wall. Like, I'm not saying the Wall is going to be their world champion. Like, again, another guy who's green as grass, but like, they're changing what they're deciding they're wanting to do with some of these people so often that they're not sticking with any one thing long enough for the audience to form a solid opinion.
Yeah. And look, we know from experience that when you are constantly telling an audience different things about the same people just get bored of them.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. So Norman pulls out a giant swing. Madden has a joke that falls on its arse here about not realizing the 3 count were swingers. There's a again fun spot that you kind of are contractually obliged to do when these guys wrestle each other, which is they start doing their dance and Norman goes up behind them and starts doing the big wiggle. They strip the Rice jersey he's wearing, exposing the DDP levels of rib tape he's wearing. This is where I kind of realized there are so many dancing gimmicks. I listed all those dancing gimmicks earlier, and the musicians, and I didn't even list the dancing gimmicks of 3 count, who are also music act, and then Norman, who's just does his little dance.
You forgot Alex Wright as well.
Alex Wright
and Disco.
And Disco. Numbers game pays off eventually. Boston Crab, and he taps. Norman waves off help and walks out himself. It did feel almost like an injury write-off there for a second until he did the walkout under his own power bit.
I mean, look, it would have made sense for Norman to disappear for 6 weeks to sell being beaten up by 3 guys. But
yeah. Jarrett is anxious for those 2 big fucking galoofs to find out who is behind the private door. We then get a historically significant match, Lee. The special main event. The Kiss Demon versus the Wall. Right now, I have to say, right, we know that they deeply resent having signed this contract and having to do all this with Kiss, right? This is like one of the hangovers of the Bischoff regime coming to the fore here.
The man they're about to put back in power, by the way.
Yeah, so like there was one level to which they sent it out to die by giving the gimmick to Dale Torborg, right? And then there's another level to which they sent it out to die by going, right, we're going to call it a main event, but put it on in the first hour. The pay-per-view, right? But I think there's an additional, like, just kicking the thing when it's down of going, we're not even going to we're going to put you in there with the Wall, so this can't even accidentally be a good match.
And look, it's not.
No. I think maybe the highlight of the match is right at the start where Madden tries to draw a comparison between Kiss and 3 count, and Tenay loses his shit Madden, he will not stand for this.
And who knew Mike Tenay was such a big Kiss fan?
Madden also, you talk about being like an office stooge. Like he's clearly sent out here to bury the gimmick by like immediately talking about the blood being fake and what special effect he's using and so that they can't even like do the suspension of disbelief. Tony uses the phrase "kistery," which popped me. And then they all do their bit to expose the business during this entrance. Um, the demon might be my pick for the like obviously I said about Prince and being like an extended run on national TV, but the Kiss Demon might be the worst run of a character who lasted more than a couple of weeks. Like everybody will say like the Shockmaster or Mantor or something like that. But like this guy's around for quite a while longer than you probably all remember. We haven't seen him fight in a graveyard yet.
No, he sticks around for a good bit. So the highlight of this match is when the demon catches the wall on the top rope.
God.
And in his attempt to throw him off, I genuinely think like the wall almost died.
I thought he killed man. Like he planted the wall like a fence post into the ground. Now, I will say it's not all on Dale Torborg. Like he did not tuck properly on this bump.
But I don't often get like scared watching back a show, especially like one that like nothing bad really happens on the show.
Yeah,
I watch it. I went, holy shit! How does nobody bring up this fucking bump?
Yeah.
Oh God.
It's probably because like months and months after this, we have the Sid leg break, and that's the one everybody brings up from WCW. But like we very nearly had worse in this match. This is the one where like, do you remember when we talk about when when Buff did his neck, and we're like, it actually looked so minor when it happened that you wouldn't know it had happened. Or like when Bulldog did his back, taking the bump on the trap door.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have noticed it if you didn't know that's where it happened necessarily. Or famously over in WWF when Sean did his back on the
casket.
coffin.
Yeah.
This is one where, and it's again, it's the thing a lot of people have always said is like you never get injured on the dangerous looking things. It's always on the like, Rob Van Dam breaks his leg on the baseball slide dropkick is the classic example. And yeah, it looked like we watched a man die on live pay-per-view, and it did that suspension disbelief thing. Like you said, we both know that no injury came out of this match, that the wall didn't break his neck in this match, and yet still I screamed.
Yelped, yeah. Literally yelped watching the match going, oh fuck. Yeah. I mean, the wall recovers pretty quickly because obviously he was fine and does the choke slam off the top.
I gotta say in here as well, Madden has a really gross line about how he drew blood on Tylee and Buck's neck before the show.
I'm so glad I didn't fucking notice that.
Yeah. Also, credit where credit is due. Demon did hit a pretty okay looking drop kick at one point in the match, but other than that, nothing worthwhile until the near live pay-per-view death and the choke slam off the top. Mean Gene with the cat saying he can't find James Brown, and Cat doing his best. Oh, ye of little faith, he will be here. I think this was where I tried to argue with you. I think this is the best 5-minute run of the pay-per-view next, where we have first Tank Abbott pacing backstage, then a Tank Abbott is a mean guy video package. Then we have leather jacket on a pole, a skins match, Tank Abbott versus Big Al. Now, I will say before I launch into this match, the degree to which no one reacted to Big Al is maybe the funniest thing on this whole show. Like, I could actively hear the blood coursing through veins of individual members of the audience. That's how quiet it was. Like they talk about those rooms that are so soundproof, you can hear like
your own
heartbeat in
internal
your ears. Yeah. That'd drive you mad if you stayed in there for too long. That's essentially how quiet it was in here. Like it was absolute silence, like the vacuum of space when Big Al came out. Then Madden was talking about how he wants to see Tank fight the big stars of WCW. And the real ringing endorsement was apparently Paul Orndorff said Tank Abbott is the real deal.
I mean,
Um,
look, Arndorf would know what a tough man is.
yeah, they go to Big Al decides to do this old school and says, okay, let's tie up our good hands together. And slug out with our southpaws, which I thought was really funny because like you will remember from a certain wedding of mine that you were at that we did the traditional Celtic hand
You
fasting
did,
routine,
yeah, yeah.
and that looked very similar to what they tried to do because it was a really half-arsed job of trying to tie their hands together, and the thing immediately fell off.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
their hands stayed tied together for all of 30 seconds, I'd say.
but what I will say is the bit where they're holding they have their hands tied together and they're just absolutely fucking socking each other in the side of the head as Madden, in fairness to him, with maybe his best line of the whole night, arguably ever, he said, hard left hands and bad language. What more do you want? And I'll tell you, Mark, not a lot more than that is what I want.
Mm-hmm.
Um, fact that the thing that really rankled me in this match is I don't think Big Al should have or sorry, I don't think Tank should have sold for a second. And
No.
there's a bit where Big Al floors him with a punch, and I wouldn't have done that. Uh, he pulls Tank so slowly under the turnbuckle, and then stood on his face, uh, like he was Tony Atlas. And then Tank gets real mad, gets up, one punch, absolutely floored him. Now, if I was booking this, it would have been he got up, got mad, punched him once, and it was over.
Uh-huh.
But then Tank goes crazy, starts punching him in the corner, hits a judo throw, and then audibly calls him a fuck face. Big body shots in the ropes. Uh, then you want to talk about moments where I screamed.
To tumble to the floor.
So he goes to get the jacket and decides he's going to carry Big Al up the turnbuckle in the fireman's carry position.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Dave Tank Abbott is not a graceful athlete.
He's
Okay.
also not known for his strength.
He's a man that looks like he was born in the middle of a bar fight.
Yeah.
Like, and essentially the two of them go arse over tea kettle over the turnbuckle to the floor and they hit the ground fucking hard.
Yes.
And then Tank, obviously also not the master improviser, panics, walks over to Big Al, punches him once in the head, and then goes back and gets the jacket. This ruled. It was a fucking hot mess, and I loved it.
I mean, do you want to bring up the real highlight?
Go on.
Where once he's won the match, Tank seems genuinely upset, goes and stands over Big Al and pulls a knife on him and holds it to his throat.
Yes.
And the camera quickly cuts away as the lads desperately try to say, I think he was going to cut off his beard.
Yeah. So this is why I roll my eyes at people trying to like their monocles going into their champagne flutes about people using fire on AEW. Because I'm just like, guys, like people were pulling knives on each other in 2000. Like, get over it. It's wrestling. Just fucking.
Big Al, by the way, did not have a beard.
No, we certainly didn't. Yes, I should have pointed that part out. Yeah.
Oh, fucking hell. I mean, just
awful.
An all-time pay-per-view moment.
Yeah. Harlem Heat 2000 promo. Stevie blames Booker for not having his back, and that caused him to go find this new team. Booker says this one's for all the marbles, and he's never crossed anybody that didn't have a coming before. So the rights of Harlem Heat, or the T on a metaphorical pole match, as I like to think of it. Big T versus Booker. God is giving Booker the circus music such a bad gag.
Killing a future star.
Yeah. The fact that people would still give a shit when he won the world title is a
Mm-hmm.
testament to just how great that guy was, and nothing to do, no credit whatsoever to this company.
In my own head, I keep saying to myself, we just have to get to July. Just
Yeah.
get to July.
If only we could go back and tell Booker that, like, because he looks so sad here, and he's trying his best to keep the crowd engaged. But as soon as it's not him on the offense, again, it goes back to fucking crickets. Um, I will say, I think he may have hit Big T here with a shoot Harlem sidekick. He fucking clatters this man.
And look, he likely deserved it.
And I'm about to dust this one off for the first while, Lee. But then a large man appears.
Well, you forget the midnight bell tolled.
Yes. They tried to sell you like it's midnight coming out. They do the midnight bell and the lights out. And again, this would have been, if it had been Sabu, I would have lost it.
And then a man that was the physical definition of a solar eclipse appeared in the ring.
Yes. Did you recognize this man?
Is that 4x4 or whatever his name was?
It is, in fact, 4x4
Yeah.
of No Limit Soldiers fame. Yeah, Big T wins. And then I will say maybe the most entertaining part of this match is Jay Biggs giving it the absolute big one when they won.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to, at this point, bring up your favorite fan in attendance?
Go on.
Your friend from the Northeast.
Sorry, yes, I did forget. For the second time, I didn't notice this, but yes, I sent it to you. Huge pop when I rewatched this show before we recorded. A man it was that season's. It was up to date.
It was that season.
Yeah, Sunderland away jersey in the front row. So harder.
Very possible it was in fact Ian Hamilton.
It may have been. I had no confirmation or disconfirmation on that one. We'll do more research. We have go on.
I was just going to say we'll reach out to Hammy and find out if it was him or he actually knows who it was.
Just send him a screenshot. This you. Maestro is now with Gene. He will listen to any music that James Brown will play if he shows up. And if not, he has decided, like, he has set a stip up by himself that Cat never accepts, that if James Brown doesn't show up, Cat must become his slave. Definitely not a charged statement to say, but we'll move on. There was a guy trying to open the door, the secret door. Harris brothers jump him.
I love that the Harrises can't open a door.
Yeah, I'd believe it. Certainly can't open their minds. That's for sure. We get Vampiro versus Billy Kidman. This is one of those annoying matches where it's just a pretty competent wrestling match. Like, I feel like by not having a lot to say about it, I'm trashing it. But it was just a
match.
Pretty well put together. It was fine. Like, I think these guys were like, this show stinks. Let's not break our necks.
I'm not being funny. It wasn't even a particularly good match.
No, like for the length it was, and for the level of effort they were clearly deciding to put in, it was fine. It's just competent. That's all it was. You knew nobody was going to badly fuck anything up.
I mean, for two guys that they're going to push in prominent positions, and they're going to embrace as, two of the next generation guys. And I will say, commentary especially have done a good job in the last 2 to 3 months of really pushing the narrative of Billy Kidman is going to be one of the guys here.
Yeah.
I mean, less so Vampiro. Vampiro seems kind of still at this point in and out, and they're not quite sure what they have with him. But Kidman, they really have pushed that he's going to be a guy for them. Like, this should have been a big spot for them.
Yeah. What do you think about the finish here? Because I thought that was a bit sloppy. I said they didn't fully blow anything, but this was a sloppy finish.
The Destino-like finish off the top.
Yeah, I think they described it as like an avalanche scorpion death drop.
Death drop, yeah. And that, I'm not sure if it was a botch or what it was supposed to be, but
I think I've always thought Vampiro is just a little bit like his body shape and size for the style he thinks in his head he's trying to wrestle is too awkward.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? He's just like he seems to sometimes get ideas above his station in terms of his physical ability to do a flippy do.
Hmm. He wants to be that guy that works with the luchadors and hangs with them, but he's just not quite capable of it. And
Yeah,
he's not quite, he can't quite work that kind of US heavyweight style either.
yeah. He wants to be like, we talked about it during the cruiserweight run that was still going on when we started the podcast of Psychosis, who's like slightly bigger than all the Lucha guys.
Mhm.
So he would be a base in a lot of those matches. But he could do flips as well. He just didn't overdo it because he knew what his role was. Whereas Vampiro is bigger again, and instead of staying in his lane, being a base for the flippy do guys, he goes, I can do a
I
little
can
bit
do
of
it.
that from time to time, and he can't. Like he just can't. Um, Security guards get an earful from Sid, and he tells them to go fetch Gene because he has something to say. We then get Gormbar and Daff en route with the stretcher for the next match. Vito with I laughed at this
Best
promo.
promo
I thought
on
it
the
was
show.
great.
Best promo on the show. Yeah.
Vito said he got the AOK from both Father Carmine and the big guy upstairs to do violence tonight.
Well, no, he told his mom that he got the okay from Father Carmine.
Yeah, yeah. Don't forget the big guy upstairs as well.
And
right back.
I love, and it's a bit that really they should have kept going forever. Is when they just go to Johnny. Johnny, what do you want to do? I want to break their thumbs.
Yeah. But also Johnny saying that, nobody puts me off my cheese sandwich. It was great here.
So sometimes a stereotype is good.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
yeah, I know Mr. Joe Lanza is going to be very upset at how much we're enjoying these guys, these meatballs, but holy shit, it's fun sometimes. We then get, yes, the World Tag Team title, Sicilian Stretcher match, the Mamalukes versus Gormbar. So here's an interesting thing. Like they say you have to go all the way out of the arena, is the stip randomly in this one stretcher match. And they're like, yeah, not just pansy ass go to the end of the ramp, but then the match does end when it goes to the end of the ramp.
And for some reason, it's the referees that are walking them out of the arena.
Yeah. It's fucking like just this like the half thought through bullshit that WCW is well known for. Anyway, Gormbar attacked the Mamalukes on the apron. Crowbar splashes Johnny on the stretcher for the first attempt at running out. I will say, look, already a few months into his run, like we like Crowbar on the program. That has been established, but his wanton disregard for his own health and well-being is very impressive. And his like putting a little bit of extra sauce on this splash at full risk of like scorpioning over and landing on top of his face. I respect the hell out of here.
Yeah.
That said, this show, or this not this show, well, this show, but this match is a fucking mess.
Do you know what? It is a mess. But I feel like you got to give credit to, like you said, you just brought up Crowbar there. I think you got to credit all four of them for just going out and fucking trying to give off the impression that they just wanted to hurt each other.
Yeah, and look, it was better than the backstage match.
I genuinely think like it might be the best match on the show to this point.
It might be. I think where I got frustrated with it is like it kept threatening to go to that next level and it never
to be
did.
Actually good.
Yeah. And again, I think it was down to just that, like, I think maybe 6 months down the line, Vito would be able to, throw in his own bit to get it up to that next level. But it really is just Crowbar holding it down here.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
So we have a blinded disco doing comedy on commentary at one point, asking who's doing what spot, which is just not funny. We get David taped to the stretcher. Crowbar is splashed through another table, so you get splashed through 2 tables during this, and he gets taped to the stretcher. Daff gets taped into a wheelchair. Mamalukes win. Gotta love, by the way, again, Mark Madden, champion of women, uh, curiously thinking out loud, wondering why no one taped her breasts. Just a class act all the way.
Yep.
I thought you were going to say this was the best promo of the show, which is Sid with Gene, essentially just spending 30 seconds saying he was going to powerbomb the shit out of everybody.
Yeah, he threatens to powerbomb people to hell, basically.
Yeah. Just a classic Sid, Master and Ruler promo.
Yeah.
If you've seen one, you've seen them all, but they are great. Then we get the cat. What do you say about this segment, Lee? You want to talk about like working yourself into a shoot where like this whole gimmick, they are directly like this is WCW. If you just watch the TV and you don't have the historical context, and I remember a little at the time the build to this pay-per-view, there is not one person on earth who wasn't a smart fan who thought James Brown was showing up because it was written like a bit where either it's a fake out or Cat gets egg on his face.
Yeah.
That's how every part of this was written, right? And that looks like what you're going to get at the start, right? Because I did laugh. And I will say, look, to credit Cat, he sometimes has some very funny lines. And I am very much looking forward to him as commissioner because he's wrestling a bit less and he's sassing people a lot more. And that's his strong suit.
Yeah, him as the fan favorite sassy commissioner is probably his best role.
And him saying that no one believed that him and James Brown were as close as two neck bones in a stew pot. That's a great line. A fake James Brown comes out. This brings Maestro and Symphony out. He's livid. And then they're interrupted by dancers and eventually the real James Brown.
You didn't think it was Adam Rose coming out?
No, I didn't. No, I didn't think it was Rose. Was actually having, and this is my little bit of historical context, I have seen James Brown perform live. My very first music festival, he played at.
Wow.
And I said to myself, how often are you going to get to see the Godfather of Soul, James Brown, perform? And I'm glad that I had that thought because he died 5 months after.
Jesus Christ.
This was like the end of July I saw him and he died around Christmas that same year. It was actually like, it was maybe the best run. Like you go to a music festival and you're jumping around to different stages because they have different bands that you're interested in. And a lot of the big bands that are really good clash with each other or you're covering vast amount of ground to get to the different stages, see them all without moving from the main stage. And this like ruined me on music festivals for my entire life. In a row on the main stage, I saw Arctic Monkeys, who were on the tour for their first album. That's how long ago it was.
Okay.
This was 2006, my friend. So Arctic Monkeys, then the Strokes, who are still at the height of their powers. This was First Impressions of Earth, a couple of years after First Impressions of Earth. Then The Who.
Okay.
And then James Brown. Like that is just a run.
Was James Brown headlining?
Well, so James Brown, so technically the Who were headlining, but James Brown was on after them.
Because
of
course.
Yeah. And it was great because like that guy, like very much like when I saw Brian Wilson from the Beach Boys, and I was like, this band are doing all the work and fucking Brian Wilson just fucking sitting there absent-mindedly on his keyboard. It was very much like his hype men were hyping him for about 25 full minutes before James Brown came on stage. But boy, was that crowd at a fever fucking pitch by the time they knew what they were like, pros, absolute, like what a show was put on. So yeah, seeing James Brown is right up there in terms of like legends and stuff like that. Like when I got to see Chic before the thing was like Nile Rodgers will just show up and do a Chic show wherever you open a door and Nile Rodgers is already inside the venue playing with Chic. When it was still a bit special, I saw him. I've seen Gil Scott Heron. I seen My Bloody Valentine when they got back together. Like, but on like in that canon of legendary acts you never thought you'd get to see, and then you end up at a music festival they're playing at. James Brown has to be right up there. But James Brown shows up here, and it's like all the things, and I'm not saying that they should have hotshotted this like they hotshotted so many bullshit when they did their summer of music on Nitro and gave away all those concerts for free, because concerts always die a death on wrestling shows.
Oh yeah, never,
right?
Never draw, never ever draw.
However, if James Brown is actually going to be on your pay-per-view,
you have to promote it.
You have to promote it. And that's maybe the one time you get him to do a song.
Mm-hmm.
Get the cat having a match with the maestro and get James Brown to sing him to the ring. Like, it's not that hard. Like it's a boxing match. Get him to sing and get the whole crew to dance out with Cat. Cat is a made man after this.
He gives him the robe after the match.
You have found a way to associate these two acts together and not give the Cat a rub off of it.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, 70,000 people bought this. No one thought he was gonna show up.
Yep.
The reaction, the people are happy he's there, but people are kind of just like, is this really fucking happening?
Is it actually him?
Yeah. And like, it just didn't come off like, look, James Brown came off as a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
But like the rub he attempts to give the Cat doesn't really last or come off. And it just ends up as being one of those weird things. It's like they kept acting like he was never going to, like the gag was going to be he never showed up. And then he actually did. You know, it's absolutely crazy. It's fucking crazy.
And as you pointed out, this is the beginning of the Cat now being a semi-serious fixture on the TV going forward.
And he's pretty solidly now remains a babyface for like almost the entire rest of the run.
Doesn't he start out as a heel in the New Blood? But I think he very quickly turns.
It's already the thing where he's like, people like him though too much. I think it's one of those things where they try it and people are like, no, sorry, you're a babyface.
Yeah.
I gotta say, it's one of my favorite tropes in wrestling. You want to talk about something that I'd always take as a desert island trope for me? Wrestlers being so upset and offended they take a bump is one of the best things of all time. And when James Brown comes out and Maestro takes a flat back in the middle of the ring out of pure shock, he fully died in the middle of the ring. It was great. That was maybe the best part of the whole segment.
Now, do you think Ric Flair and James Brown went out that night?
Absolutely. And I don't want to know. And maybe we won't know until many other people involved are dead what did happen. I will say as well, I like that he'll never be a recurring character, obviously, going forward. I don't want to set anyone's expectation. But the fact that in a very Ron Simmons-esque twist, that it seemed like James Brown could only speak by referring to names of his songs. Where he kept saying things like "get up" and "Papa's got a brand new bag" and shit. I don't think he said. He may have only said a couple of words that weren't not just song lyrics, but song titles.
I'm gonna go out here and all I'm gonna do is speak in song titles.
Yeah,
and nobody's gonna stop me.
Yeah, I think maybe the only thing he said that wasn't that was to point out that he's got a new record out.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's one of the most surreal fucking... I can't believe they pulled this off, but also I can't believe they didn't advertise this moment in WCW. It's such a WCW thing to do.
You both can't believe it, absolutely can believe it at the same time, though, is the thing. Scott Hall, then, as if that can be followed, Scott Hall has a promo where he says, again, a classic Scott Hall, too insider for it to be any good promo, where he said you don't always have to be friends with the bizoys or the bookers to get your own way. If it used to be that if you could just go, um, you would get to the top of the card. And I'm sorry, but the last two companies you've been full-time employed for, that has not been the case.
Now, look, he could go, but he was also friends with the Bizzos and, the
Yeah,
Booker's favor.
yeah. We get I will say, for this time, this period of his career, a rare good Flair promo. You could tell Flair has a little bit more gas in the tank
Mm-hmm.
at the thought he gets to wrestle Terry Funk tonight, because he's like, easy night at the office. Got to have people eating out the palms of our hands with what we can do here. Like, these are guys that are such old pros that they can and do go at half speed, and people are still way more into it than half the shit on this show.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I will say, can we talk about is now a good time? Yeah, because it's actually the next match. I fucking hated the rule of this Texas death match.
Oh, the pinfall and then 10 count.
Yes,
I mean, that is the classic Texas step
I
match
know,
rules.
I know, but it had been so long that I forgot that.
Ah,
How much better is just fucking submit or surrender? Like, honestly.
I get it, but also, I mean, look, I like the idea of you have to maim somebody so badly that a pinfall has to be followed by a 10 count for you to win.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's not for me. I don't think it's for me.
I mean, look, WWE has destroyed the last man standing concept.
Yeah,
So I get where you're coming from,
yeah.
but I think in the right hands in 2025, somebody could pull off a believable, you know, original Texas Step Match style match.
Did you know immediately when I said that Mark Madden has one comment on this show that shouldn't have been acceptable then, certainly is acceptable now, that it would be the comment at the very start of this match?
No, because I don't have a note.
Okay, did you not hear this comment? He said, so the match goes out onto the floor very early.
Mm.
And Tenay and Tony are making comments like, okay, now this is playing in Terry's hands. And Mark Madden says, no, no, no. And says that Flair on the floor is like Rommel in the desert.
I did not notice that, Dave.
Yeah.
I was probably taking notes or, doing my best to ignore Mark Madden as I try to. But
Yeah.
fuck me.
Now, we're lucky this is a pay-per-view episode, because the devil on my shoulder, if this was a Thunder episode, telling me to call this episode like Rommel in the desert.
Okay.
Now, second only to, we're going to skip right past that because it's an abhorrent thing to say, right?
Yeah.
Second only to Tank Abbott audibly calling Big Al a fuckface is the moment where Terry Funk suplexes Ric Flair on the outside, and the camera is close enough to hear Ric Flair go, ah, shit.
But see, this happens every month. This is a recurring theme. Somebody hits Ric Flair with a suplex or a slam or something, and the camera is always close enough to hear him go, ah, fuck, ah, shit.
Man who does not care anymore about being like heard on broadcast television swearing. Okay, now, so we get the first fall easily up, and this is where the logic of it is just like, to me. So he's hurt enough to be pinned, but not enough for a 4 count. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's knocked out, he gets pinned, shoulders to the mat, but then he's up before 4. This is where it falls apart. I see where you say about you have to knock out somebody so conclusively. And yeah, towards the end of the match, it makes more sense. But in the start of the match, it's kind of killing the concept of pinfalls.
Yeah, it's that, the old Survivor Series tag match thing of why is a fucking small package enough to win the match here, or a body slam is enough to pin somebody in this match, but on a regular match it's not.
Yeah.
So yeah, like a suplex on the floor for some reason is getting a pin, or a fucking what did he? Oh, Flair actually gets a tap out with the figure four.
Yeah.
Look.
Now, I will say he doesn't redeem himself because the Rommel in the Desert thing, not cool. However, even a blind squirrel kind of thing, there is a good line from Madden here
Okay.
because we do the bit where Flair goes up on the top rope and he gets easily thrown off it by Terry Funk.
Mm-hmm.
And Madden is incensed. And he just goes, like, he says the thing that everybody is thinking in their head, where he's just like, something, I'll give you a little bit of history here, where Ric Flair beat Harley Race by coming off the top at the first Starrcade, and it hasn't worked since.
Okay, fair. Yeah, that's good. And again, I don't mind that because that plays into history.
Oh, look, and this is Flair failing to come off the top is one of the other great tropes in wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Like, to the point where, like, I know that he beat Harley. You know that he beat Harley, right? But by the time he's deep into his WWE run, still doing this bit, nearly a decade later, I remember listening to like Brian and Vinny shows where like they're exasperated, going, "What is he even trying to do?" And what does he do? What's going up there? He doesn't ever do anything.
Remember, what was it, 07 or 08, where he had the IC title run?
It's not 06.
Was it 06? It could have been 06.
He retires in 08.
All right, so it had to be
because it's Mania 24 he retires, isn't it?
It had to be 06 then, yeah. But remember when he turned face and all of a sudden he started hitting the axe handle in every match?
Yeah.
That was a good bit.
Good bit. Sorry, it was September 2005 and he beat Carlito.
Okay. Yeah, but like when he turned face.
If you want to see, by the way, all-timer promos, when WWE had him go out and eviscerate Carlito's career on Raw, is one of the all-time great worked shoot promos.
Oh, there was something fucking worked about that one.
No. Snug.
But yeah, no, I did like that bit of when he turned face, he just all of a sudden learned how to hit the axe handle.
Funk hits a pile driver on the concrete. Fucking the Terry Funk pile driver rules, man.
Mm-hmm.
Brian Adams' one arse cheek pile driver could never. Funk then gets on the microphone and announces that he had another table brought out especially so I could break your neck again.
Again, play into the history. It's good.
Then he pile drives him through that table, but then sarcastically pulls Flair's arm up so he can do it again.
This is the babyface I want.
Gets another table. And like the crowd are losing it for this, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Flair gets up, and I will say, like, maybe the saddest bit of all, they could have done something a bit better than him, like, just pulling Terry by the arse off the top rope and him just stumbling through the table. I think that was a little bit lazy. They get a double count, but then everybody remembers that Flair was the one that made the pin, so the count only counts for him. So the ref stops counting both of them, and he wins as he flops back down. I felt like it was the best they could probably do for their age and levels of relative motivation in 2000. It was a little bit disappointing, but also still kind of a hoot.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I was going to say, like, I don't think it's a good match. And it's one of them when you look back with a history and you go, oh, Funk versus Flair. And you'll see all those like 1989 matches and oh God, they were great. And then you'll see underneath them going the year 2000, Funk versus Flair, Texas Death, and you go, oh,
look, they didn't embarrass themselves like Age in the Cage. You know,
absolutely,
yeah. So that's the best we could hope for. And we still have some of the highlights of Funk's WCW latter day run to come.
Mm-hmm.
We still have to see him shout at a horse, which thank God happens on Thunder, and we won't miss it.
Yeah, can't wait.
Hogan promo where he promises to break both Package and Liz's arms, which leads us to Hulk Hogan versus the Total Package. Fuck me, this is so bad.
It's not a fun
Especially
match.
after the last match, where like you had two guys who couldn't really go that well anymore, but still made a damn good fist at having a fun match. And these guys not only are terrible, but they're not even trying.
Yeah, I will say the one that I have as the cow. I have to say the Cow Palace. They popped for Hogan. San Francisco has always been a Hogan town. But Madden is talking about Hogan. He's like, oh, Hogan has never cheated.
Yeah.
And just like, even as a babyface, Hogan's whole deal is that he cheats. He just out cheats the other guy.
Also, right, here's the thing. The entire time Hogan's been back, he's been teasing that the version of Hogan you're going to see is going to be some hybrid between him, the Hulk Hogan character, and the Hollywood Hogan character. And I have to say, apart from, as you said, the light cheating he was always known for, he makes fuck all use of that.
Now I want to see Hulk Hogan in the Zack Ryder half and half trunks, half long, like half Hollywood Hogan, long wires, and then the yellow trunks.
It was sad, like watching a man come to terms with the fact that he only just realized that the only difference really between the Hollywood and Hulk Hogan characters were the levels to which he was accepting people that didn't like him. That's something, by the way, I didn't even talk about like on our first show back. That dude died while we were away.
Yeah.
Yeah, we never covered the death of a racist. Is a weird one, isn't it? Like again, it's not, we're not going to spend too long on it, because the topicality of his death has long since passed.
I mean,
But I think a lot of people said it really well at the time, where a man utterly through his own designs has marred his own legacy so much. No one to blame but himself. No one should feel bad about not being able to feel sad about his death. Do you know what I mean? I don't blame anybody that's like, rest in piss. I don't blame anybody that has, at the same time, extremely complicated views on him because they were from the Hulkamania generation. Again, like you, I came in at the tail end of the new generation, so I never had the Hogan hypnosis over me. I always remember like Hollywood is my first proper memory of him. And like the whole thing was like he's an old guy who sucks and we don't want him on top anymore. So like I feel like I always had that opinion of him, you know? So like I'm thankful at least that because of that, where he sits for me in the pantheon has never really been complicated because he was never going to get within an arse's roar of my Mount Rushmore. He was never a childhood favorite. The only thing that again is sad about it is that like to see somebody who was given the keys to the kingdom and should have had an unquestioned, unparalleled place in North American wrestling history, only to be consumed so much by hate, insecurity, paranoia, loathing, intolerance.
Not just North American wrestling history, North American pop culture history.
Yeah.
Like it genuinely.
And also, by me saying North American, isn't like he wasn't a big deal in Japan or in Europe.
Or Europe.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Like it genuinely, like if it cannot be understated, or overstated how much of a household name that man was.
There are probably less than 5 other names in terms of significant impact pop culturally in pro wrestling. I can think of Stone Cold. If you want to go across to the other side of the world, Inoki. You might say Misawa. but is it the same? It's not the
Yeah,
same level of
it's not
pop
the same.
culture
It's not the
stardom.
same. No.
It's maybe him, Austin, Inoki, and Rock,
Yeah.
and that's it. Like I know people talk up, and I don't mean to trash him because he's current day and my current feelings on that company. Like people try to talk up Roman like he's a star. Like Roman is
Oh, he's a
a
nothing.
fucking no. And look,
Zilch.
talented guy, reasonably charismatic guy. He's nothing in the pop culture landscape. He does not make a ripple. Like even you talk about like John Cena and Dave Bautista, who are now successful actors, but even their pop cultural impact pales in comparison.
Mm-hmm. And
Like Dave
it was
Bautista
good.
to the point where like people forget he was a wrestler now.
Yeah.
Like the normies forget that he was a wrestler.
And it's funny, like you say that, like John Cena, like I see him pop up on like Lad Bible stuff, like all these kind of Americans taste British snacks, and you see him doing these kind of interviews that you wouldn't see a Roman do, and it's like John Cena has actual cachet outside of wrestling.
Yeah. But and to be fair to Cena, like he didn't just have that straight away. Like he's only getting there now, and he has been acting for several years. Like it really was him being lucky enough that Dave Bautista was too busy to play Peacemaker in the Suicide Squad.
Is that what
And
happens?
Dave Bautista couldn't do it.
Okay.
So Gunn went to Cena. And that's what that like really it is that character that's turned his career around, because it's the first time that like he was getting into the Rock cycle, except much quicker than the Rock, where the Rock just plays the Rock in every movie. Um and he was getting that where like no matter what they did with Cena, like Cena was just Cena in everything. And I think people were getting sick of it quicker than they got sick of the Rock. But the Peacemaker thing has figured out a way to still a little bit of Cena in there.
Mm-hmm.
But I think something that's a difference between him and maybe Rock at that stage of his acting career is that Cena is absolutely willing to look like a tit. Do you know what I mean? To be the butt of the joke. And I think that's where he's found a little groove, that the character of Chris Smith is like, he's a dick. He's like, he's unlikable, and he's tragic, and he's pathetic in a way that The Rock would never allow himself to
Yeah.
be at that stage.
I will say I started watching Peacemaker again, so I'm like 4 episodes through
Look,
season 1.
I won't say it for people who haven't watched it, but how much did you lose it for the opening sequence of that show the first time you saw it?
It's incredible. But like,
all I will say is for season 2, they do a similar but different thing for it. It's great.
I won't say I've seen spoilers, but I believe there's now hidden messages in.
Indeed. Oh yes,
Yeah.
I'd say because of your son, you've probably heard some news with regard to
Different things, yeah.
Yes, yeah. Okay.
But now
Anyway.
again, some of that will brush over my head until I actually see it, because I'm not the biggest comic book guy. And
please try to dodge season 2 spoilers as much as possible, because like when the what's happening happens, it's fucking killer.
I believe so. So
anyway, but by the time this comes out, the whole season will be over as well. So
look, I plan on watching another episode or 2 probably this weekend. So by the time we record our next show, I will have been through season 1.
We're actually recording this on the night that season 2 ends in the States.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I'm like, I'm gonna get up early. I have a meeting early in the morning, and it should be enough time to download the finale to watch on the bus on the way in, because all the young people in my work
will
are
have watched
obsessed with Peacemaker, and they will spoil it. Yeah. Anyway, this match is shite. Hulk is dead. This match sucks.
Oh God, let me just see.
We get Liz interference with the bat.
Sting comes back.
Yes, that's the only thing that's like I pop for Sting. I will always. I'm sorry, it's the child in me, the kid that was 6-7 years old in 1996, starting to watch wrestling. I will never not, like, you saw me when we saw Sting wrestle in Wembley. I had tears in my eyes. The two of us fucking for Seek and Destroy, fucking again, well documented this show, we nearly threw out about 4 rows of chairs in Wembley. We lost it so much. And I think I spent all of Sting's retirement match choking back tears, the whole fucking thing. Um, but
This is a good time to bring it up. Did you see Steve Stinger's son had his first match?
it's fucking eerie how much he looks like him. Like
Mhm.
it's genuinely a little bit frightening. It's like people say, and obviously I don't post pictures of him online, but people say like my son, El Hijo
Mhm.
de Dave, is the spitting image of me. Like
I can't confirm.
he's my El clone. And when people say that to me, the last week in particular, because again, people do say it to me quite regularly when they see pictures of him. Since I saw the Steve Stinger Jr. match, I think, no, you haven't seen a father and son look identical until you've seen these two cunts. Like,
Yeah, fucking hell.
so you did the wise thing of just skipping to the end of the match. Sting is back. That is the only thing that matters. Also, Sting looks in fucking phenomenal shape.
He's in what was it, TNA in 2007? Was it Bound for Glory where he had the
Yeah,
top off?
yeah.
That's the kind of shape he was in here.
He looked in the kind of shape where sometimes somebody comes back and they're in shape to the degree where it's like just put the belt on him immediately. And that is the level of like that is main eventer shape
I,
he's
I,
in.
I'm not gonna lie, I had that thought watching Dynamite when Pac took down the straps.
Oh, oh, yeah. Man, I'll tell you, things are cooking talent wise with him, OC, and some others being back at the moment. Like it's fucking we're eating well. I just need to
It's
have
the
more
hope that
nights where
kills
I'm
you.
not more nights where I'm not fucking exhausted. This is the thing. Maybe this is my current day take on wrestling. Is like people are like still quite obsessed with the ratings talk and the business not turning around. And I know like I am somebody that, enjoys the inside baseball of it all. But genuinely I'm just happy that it's a show that's very good to watch again, by and large, with by and large excellent wrestling happening on it as well. I
That's
kind of
where
like look, would I rather that they were doing 2021, 2022 business and crowds right now to ensure that it continues for many, many years like this? Yes, I would. But in isolation, when I go and watch the show, am I thinking that stuff? Fuck no, I'm not.
I have issues with some of the presentation and some of the stories and stuff. But for the most part, like you, I'm just happy that I have a show I can stick on a Thursday and watch for 2 hours, and then on a Sunday or a Saturday night, I
Yeah.
can sit down and watch a kind of a different and less relevant 2 hours of wrestling, where it's just good wrestling.
And I think you and I, not that we have a unique perspective, but I think the perspective that this show has given us is that we've kind of reminded ourselves. I think people get rose tinted glasses about when wrestling was good in their heads.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we have documented long and hard in the show. If you were somebody that was super into Nitro in the 90s, or if you were somebody that was super into Raw, a, a lot of those shows week to week were bad.
Oh yeah.
The majority of things that were on them were bad. And you just remember the one or two things that were good. And we've said it before on the show many times since 2019 that like there's never been as high a quality in terms of wrestling output and promos, all that sort of like all that good stuff that you get into wrestling for. There's never been a show, even at the times where they were doing stuff you and I both hated. Brochachos, the before this Tony thing really hit its
Mm-hmm.
stride as well, all that kind of cringeworthy stuff. We were still hanging in there because we were like, there's still half of a show that's better than anything we watched growing up.
The Young Bucks are still going out and having 5-star matches. Fucking Kenny
Yeah.
Omega is still putting on the bangers 3 times a year.
You got like in terms of watching wrestling TV shows we grew up, you got a notebook level match like
Every week.
nobody that's what you get now, but like you were getting maybe one a year.
Oh
Like
god,
if
yeah.
that.
Like people will rattle off Raw matches, like the one Raw match in '95 that was good between
Yeah.
Bret Hart and 1 2 3 Kid.
Or
And
they'll do the Radicals
yeah,
multi-man tag on Raw 2000. They'll do the fucking Shelton Benjamin, Shawn Michaels Gold Rush. They'll do the Cena Shawn Broadway in 2007. They'll do
Yeah.
that stuff. But you're getting matches of that caliber as like throwaway collision matches. Like, do you know what I mean? It's just
Remember
yeah, I think for
the much hyped Dean Malenko Scotty 2 Hottie backlash match
yeah, yeah,
2000s?
yeah.
How would that rank on your weekly collision?
Yeah, I know, and I think that's the thing. I think the rose tinted glasses are both the best and the worst thing for that company. Where it's like because it's been said many times, their history is wrestling's history. It's allowed some of the coolest things because they lean into history in a way that we were talking about WCW. We wish they did more. So they lean into WCW's history better than WCW did. And that's some of the greatest stuff because they're appealing to the people like us who have had the history of the stuff we loved being stifled or edited for so long. But then the other side, like we said, of the rose tinted glasses is because we all think we remember it being so good all the time, consistently when we were kids. We have this mythical bar that it can't clear in our heads.
Yeah.
Much like I also think there's a similar weird thing going on with like the WWE thing, where it's just like they've just told us it's great for so long that people just start going, well, I guess it's great. Whereas like because I'm not in the loop of watching that stuff and being kind of like bombarded with it's great, isn't it? It's great, isn't it? When I parachute in and watch a show, I'm like, this is fucking awful.
Dog shit. Like we've said it on the show. It's only to go through, but like it's genuinely some of the worst wrestling television. And we just rattled off going, yeah, that wrestling you remember as a kid wasn't that great. But what they're putting out now is much, much worse.
Yeah. I'm more offended by this than like say the ruthless aggression era where I'm just like, this is a greater squandering of talent. Because like I won't argue that I will agree with people who will tell you that this is arguably the most talented top to bottom in terms of quality wrestlers they may have ever had. Do you know what I mean? Because usually the thing when we were growing up is either the main eventers were the only ones who were good, like new generation. So Brett and Sean were carrying the fucking company and a few of the mid carders, or you have like the 2000s where like a lot of the main eventers were physically shot to shit, but the mid card was where the wrestling was. Whereas now it's just like you have a lot of great wrestlers at every spot on the card. It's just vacuous and unpleasant. Anyway, it's just really trying to not talk about the main event.
Speaking of vacuous and unpleasant, here's a Jeff Jarrett main event.
Do you want to take the office here on this one? Guinness World Record, I think, for ref bumps.
Oh God. I mean, the whole match is fucking dog shit. I mean, everything
like 8 minutes as well.
Like every week leading up to this, for the last, it seems like 4 years, we've had Sid versus the Harris brothers in some form or another.
Yeah.
And on the go home show, they're like, no, it's not going to be the Harris brothers. It's going to be Sid, Jeff, and Scott Hall. The match starts without Sid.
Yeah.
The Harris brothers are constantly involved. There's 19 ref bumps.
They go through 6 different referees.
And I mean, after referee 2, it's clear. It's like, oh, they're going to do the NWO ref thing.
Yeah. They're going to do the thing, and they do the thing where Jeff just keeps taking out refs until Slick is the only one left.
I imagine referees were lined up at Gorilla going, if something happens to him, I'll go out next.
Yeah.
Like they took fucking tickets.
Like fellas parachuting in over Normandy on D-Day. Like they were just go.
Oh God, like, and I mean, I've mentioned this on our ton of shows. Sid genuinely gets reactions. I know the crowds are dwindling, and it's not fucking huge crowds anymore, and the ratings are in the fucking shitter. But this is a guy, as your champion, that the crowd still believe in, whatever's left of that crowd. And just the absolute bollocks he has to put up with on a weekly basis, a monthly basis. I'm not saying Sid was ever going to be a difference maker. But I mean, the man's getting a reaction. That's got to be worth something.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I wrote here at the end is like I think he's the worst best book champion of all time. Where he's constantly always beating and
Overcoming the
outsmarting everybody.
odds. Yeah.
He's constantly overcoming the odds, but they're doing it in a way that's getting him less over.
Uh-huh.
It's genuinely a marvel to me.
So they do. Look, we'll skip to the end. They do the bit where Slick comes out. He's the last ref left. And Scott Hall gets the outsider's edge on Jarrett, and Slick only counts to 2. And then, after Jarrett has hit Hall with the guitar, the big reveal, the mystery man out of the room, it's Roddy Piper in the ref shirt.
Yeah. In the cyborg arm support.
I feel like we just did this.
Yeah.
I know it was a year ago.
Yeah. I gotta say as well, I resent the hell out of this company making me groan when Roddy Piper comes out, by the way.
It wasn't a year ago. It was fucking 2 pay-per-views ago, wasn't it?
Time's a flat circle.
It was Starrcade 99, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
With
Yeah.
Brett Goldberg.
Yeah.
Now, to be fair, it's about 2 years since we did that show.
This is the other thing.
But like, we are literally just redoing Roddy Piper is the troubleshooting referee.
Mm-hmm.
So
it takes some doing. Like, this company is not just like, for a while they were trying to run back angles that were successes in the past, but now they're running back angles that weren't even good the first time.
Yeah, so Piper comes out, gets rid of Slick. I poke to Jarrett. Jarrett eats a choke slam. Then Hall eats the power bomb. And I'm assuming this is right off for Hall because he's in trouble again. Because he's the one that eats the pin. And look.
Yeah, because like the reboot is coming soon and he's gone.
He's gone. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, we know in the build-up he had missed the flight from Germany and there was a missed Nitro and a missed Thunder and all that. Look, as far as a bullshit fucking filled main event style match, it wasn't awful.
Yeah.
It's just, it didn't need to be that.
No. And the appetite wasn't there for it. There are times where they have those main events, and even though you and I groan and we hate it, the crowds are super into it.
Well, like,
this crowd did not have an appetite for that. They wanted to just see a proper main event.
Instead of doing here's 5 of the refs, and then Slick's going to come out, why didn't they just go, well, Jeff Jarrett is saying he's acting commissioner. He's already changed all the rules, and have Slick there from the start.
Yeah. I don't know. Right, before we get your thoughts, Lee, do you want to hear the star ratings for this show?
Go on, give us a quick rundown.
I was going to give you them as we went, but I feel like this, if I do them all together, this will be a fun experience to show how much Uncle Dave didn't care about this show. So artist Lash LaRue, 0.5 star. Knobs Bam Bam, 1/4 star.
Generous.
3 Count Norman Smiley, 1 star.
Mm.
The Wall versus the Kiss Demon, -1 star. Tank Big Al, 1/4 star. Big T versus Booker, -1 star.
Wow.
Vampiro Billy Kidman, 2.25 stars. God, getting a nosebleed there from that high rating. The Sicilian Stretcher tag match, 0.5 star.
I think that's harsh.
Yeah, it is harsh. Terry Funk, Ric Flair, 2.25 stars, which means it was really like 1.5 stars to Dave, but he can't, in good conscience, give Ric Flair that.
Or Terry.
I also think that if he had, that would have been harsh because it was more fun than that. Lex and Hogan minus a star, and main event star and 3/4.
Wow.
So the highest rated match of this show was
2 3/4.
was it 2 3/4? Oh no, sorry, 2 1/4 for Vampiro and Kidman.
Oh, so it was that and the Flair match got the same rating.
Yes. Diabolical.
And like you said, it's probably not the worst pay-per-view we've watched.
No, I don't think so. But I do think it was an absolute fucking mess of a show. Anyway, that's my thoughts. Give me your overall thoughts and your winners and losers, my friend.
I mean, I can't say much more than that. It was such a mess of a show. And like we said at the top, it really, you feel those people that are missing more so than the ones that are on the show. And for our sake, the hope is that in the mess that is the reboot and all that happens with the new blood and Russo and Bischoff being back, that a lot of people focus on that. I'm just hoping the shows get a little bit better.
Well, there'll certainly be more to talk about.
A little bit more watchable. How about that?
Yeah.
That as a phrase.
Yeah. Again, we're going to get Mike Awesome coming in. We're going to get Lance Storm coming in. We're going to get in that list of people that they brought in, and it should have saved the show quality and didn't. Chris Candido is coming in.
Yeah. The floor hopefully rises.
Yeah.
I mean, winners and losers. I mean, there's no real winners on the show.
No,
I mean, good for Terry and Rick that they didn't embarrass themselves, I suppose.
Yeah. Let's just make Terry Funk the winner because he's fucking Terry Funk, man.
Let's go with that. And losers,
Terry Funk, owner of the greatest answering machine message of all time.
And the losers are fucking the Wall and the Demon.
Yeah. This and Kiss, you have to say. This show had 11 matches with shockingly 8 clean finishes.
Wow.
2 interference leading directly to a finish and 1 via cast.
I thought you were going to say 1 via cat.
Yeah, but via the cat. Thank you all so much for listening to another episode of Days of Thunder. We will be back on the slow and steady road to the reboot.
Is there another pay-per-view?
There is another pay-per-view,
okay.
Yeah. But like we know that's where we're headed. We have I can count us in. I can tell you exactly how many shows there are.
Were you saying we know or Reno?
Oh, I'll tell you. The roll the dice is coming. A young Cody Rhodes is about to see Reno roll the dice and go, I got a fucking idea. Where are we at now? So we are at SuperBrawl.
Sticker SuperBrawl.
We get to go through. Oh my God. Right. Do you want to hear what we have? This is the run.
Let's go for it.
Everybody buckle in. You're going to be so happy we're back. So we got 4 weeks in a row where it's just Thunder. Okay. So it's a straight run to the next pay-per-view, which is Uncensored 2000. Okay. So that's fairly unremarkable. Another pay-per-view. Then we got Thunder 105, which is fine. We've got Nitro 236, also known as That's the Wall, brother.
Oh.
Then we've got Thunder. Then we've got Ready to Rumble. And then we've got the reboot.
Okay, so we have plenty of road to cover before we get to the reboot.
Yes, we have somewhere around 10 shows to get to the reboot.
Fucking Christ, we have to do a Nitro.
Yeah, we have to do 2 Nitros, like if you include the reboot.
Well, not the reboot I maintain is one of the... We'll get to it.
Yeah. But look, at least it's a spring break Nitro, and it's got one of the all-time funniest things that's ever happened in professional wrestling.
You know what? That's good. That'll be a spring break Nitro. That they're always.
And we've been talking about it, but I'm still hyped to talk about it in full. I'm still hyped to laugh just as much as I have every single time I've seen it. Again, my old laptop that we started this show doing had a giant That's the Wall Brothers sticker on it.
And you know what? I've looked for that since, and I can't find it.
Oh, I think I have it bookmarked. I'll send it to you.
No, I was going to get it for you when you got the new laptop, and I can't fucking find it.
Appreciate it. Consistency is king. Okay. Right. Anyway, thanks everybody for listening to another episode of Days of Thunder. We'll see you again behind the paywall next week and here on the Voices of Wrestling Podcast Network in 2 weeks' time. Stay safe, be well, and we'll talk to you all very soon.
Hi, I'm Andrew Rich, and if you're like me, you look at the state of modern wrestling discourse and think, wow, what a cesspool. That's why I'm here to tell you about Music of the Mat Remix. That's right, your favorite wrestling music podcast is back with a new format, where I bring on a guest and we play songs related to wrestling-themed topics. It could be a wrestling reference, a wrestling concept, a wrestling pun, things of that nature. Now you might be saying, Andrew, that is a very, very tenuous connection to pro wrestling on a wrestling podcast network. Is this just an excuse to hang out with your friends and talk about music and ignore the rest of the wrestling landscape? Yes. Yes, it is. So listen to Music of the Mat Remix on the Voices of Wrestling Podcast Network, available on Apple, Spotify, or your podcast player of choice.
Do you like wrestling trivia? Then check out the 5-Star Match Game, the Pro Wrestling Quiz Show. I'm Joe Gagney, and every episode, I grill 3 contestants with 5 rounds of power-packed wrestling trivia. We have over 30 evergreen episodes in the archives covering WWE, AEW, Japan, Mexico, and much, 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 much more. Play along at home and check it out today.